It feels like every gaming generation, we get at least one cataclysmic event that shakes the entire industry as we know it. Final Fantasy VII, Half-Life 2, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, games that reshape and reimagine what we can think gaming to be. And I think we just found the next one. This is Gex Trilogy.
It all started so simply. I had just finished my usual morning routine of nude funkercise, fired up the Barca Lounger, grabbed a quick bite to eat, and prepared to watch some serious tube. Little did I know, my snack was sent by Rez.
Gex Trilogy, released to all modern platforms and Steam, is a collection of 3 Gex games. Gex was a popular character from the 90s. He had games from 1995 to 1999, and then he kind of disappeared from the public eye. Gex was created by Crystal Dynamics, and you may know Crystal Dynamics today because they later went on to helm the Tomb Raider series, starting with Tomb Raider Legends and going all the way until the newest entries. So Gex was left behind, sort of stored away at the Eidos offices. Eidos was then purchased by Square Enix, where Gex was put into a closet. It seems like Limited Run Games has dug that corpse back out of the closet at Square Enix and brought the original Gex games to modern platforms using their new Carbon engine. So in this collection, you do get Gex 1, which is a 2D platformer that is hard as nails. This was originally a 3DO game that got ported to the Saturn and PS1. The PS1 version is what you have here. And this one I think got the least in terms of improvements. It got all the games have the ability to save whenever you want, which is extra helpful when it comes to the first Gex, because the PS1 version of Gex 1 used a password system. So, yes, you can properly save this version now, which is very nice, very convenient. Also, there is a rewind feature, which I think is really helpful for the first Gex, because the first Gex is good. It is a 2D platformer where you're sucked into a TV and you're going through different channels. And in each level, not only do you want to make it to the end of the stage, but you want to find a TV remote. And it can be very hard, especially near the end of the game. And I find it to be very frustrating at points whenever I get to the end of a level that was very hard and then realize I never picked up the damn remote. So rewinding is actually quite helpful in Gex 1. And see, it's the only one of this trilogy that I actually did take advantage of that new feature. There are borders to put up around the game. This game is not full screen. The aspect ratio does not fit a modern display, but that's fine. I think the game still looks good, and the game is still a lot of fun.
Since retiring from the public's eye, I had resigned myself to a life of solitude. For 2 years, I started my day watching Kung Fu theater. Days, then weeks blurred into one long, greasy telethon. The next thing I know, some government goons show up at my place. It seems they've caught a whiff of old Mr. Sunshine himself, Rez. He's back in the media dimension, and they think I'm crazy enough to go back in after him. So they whisk me away to Interrogation 101. They play rough. Start giving me the business. I give a little back. So we negotiate a little something to cover my expenses. They throw in one of those secret agent suits, and I tell them we got a deal. Looks like I'm headed back into the media dimension. It's gonna be deja ouch all over again. Coming through.
Dr. Zayas, would an ape make a human doll that talks?
Gex 2, Enter the Gecko, is the first 3D game in the franchise, and I think it's the most iconic one. It's the one that people seem to reference the most. Now, this game was a pretty early example of a 3D platformer. It kind of takes the Mario 64 approach of having you go into a level and do different objectives to receive a TV remote collectible. Now, those objectives are there's usually 3 objectives sprinkled through the level, along with getting all of the collectibles in the stage and finding one hidden remote in the stage. There are some big improvements with this one. Obviously, the biggest one is the visuals. This game and the third game both fit a modern display now, which is very nice. They look very good. Also, both this game and the third game got analog stick support, full analog stick support, which is nice because these games were originally played on D-pad, which can be a little awkward today. But they feel really good, and they also mapped the camera to the other analog stick. So you do have proper camera control, even though I did find Gex Enter the Gecko had some camera issues still. There's still some stages where the camera's a little finicky, but it's nothing I'm not used to. I find that people that didn't grow up or didn't play a lot of platformers like me, like I am a 3D platformer junkie through and through. I played a ton of these games. This is like my comfort zone. You know, this is like my level of comfort are these games. I find that people that didn't play a lot of these platformers around this time period, around the 90s or early 2000s, they complain a lot about the camera. And I never understood it. I always found it to be a non-issue with most games. Most games' camera aren't that terrible. I think people are just like to find things to nitpick. Other than that, Gex 2 is very fun, very creative. You go through a lot of different parodies of TV shows and movies. And the first game you do too, but the first game you only have like 4 worlds. This one feels like it's a lot more. You do revisit the themes here or there through multiple areas, which is a little deflating later on because you open a new area of the map and you're excited to see what levels you got, and you get a level motif that you've already done 3 other ones for. So that can be a little tiring, but I do think this game is very good, and this is the best way to play it.
Take my tail! Lady, the thing! It's tail time.
And that's how the mayor got his pants back. What's this? Ladies and gentlemen, I've just been handed some late-breaking news. Special Agent Extra, head of the TV Terrorist Defense Unit, and star of many of my private dreams, is apparently missing.
Jerry Springer!
Agent Extra was last seen wearing 8-inch pumps and a red bathing suit. Her current whereabouts are unknown.
Gex!
Agent Extra? You poor kidnapped minx.
Hey, Tiger. Guess where I am? Trapped in the media dimension. Rez is back, and he's kidnapped me to get to you. He's attacking your secret island cave.
Hey, speaking of secrets, you want to see my...
Gex, quit clowning around and get me out of here. This place is giving me the creeps. Just dial me in.
You are now being so connected, baby.
Gex, listen up. Keep your watch on at all times so I can call you. Meanwhile, get me out of here. I need you.
Yeah, you and every other beautiful government agent trapped in a TV set. I'm on my way. Shlamil, Shlamazel, what's remembering Cornbury? Hey, that tingles. Let's get ready for the ultimate Gecko weapon, baby, yeah! Nobody messes with my 2-inch python cannon!
Gex 3, Deep Cover Gecko. Before I played this trilogy, this was the one that I spent the least amount of time with in the past. I think I'd played a little bit of it on a digital version I owned on PlayStation 3, but never really gave it the time of day. And that's a real tragedy in my books, because I really like this game. I think Gex 3 may be my favorite one. I think it's the most like fully realized of the package here. It takes a lot of the ideas from the second game and fleshes them out. So, for example, there's no repeating level motifs. Each level is unique and also is much bigger in scope. And the level themes are very creative in this game. You'll go to a level based off of like old Rankin and Bass Christmas specials. You go to an anime channel. You go to a pirate channel. You go to a Greek mythology channel. You know, like you go through a gangster channel, like an old school like 20s gangster channel. Like there's a lot of cool ideas in this game that I think work very well for what it's trying to do. And the collectible aspect is improved. I think the way that this game handles the collectibles in terms of the stages. The first game, you would have to find collectibles, but there wasn't a set of, like, there was just kind of sprinkled everywhere, and it wasn't like you had to find all the collectibles in a stage. You just had to find a set amount. This one, there's exactly 100 fly coins in each stage. So it is rewarding to actually hunt down every single fly coin in the stages. And it just feels like the camera feels a lot better. I think the game overall is much improved. Gex 3 was a big surprise. I'm currently playing these on PS5, and I'm trying to 100% all of them. I'm very close to having all of the trophies for the trilogy here. And Gex 3 is the one that I keep finding myself getting sucked back into. This game is fantastic, and I honestly think this game is worth owning the collection for. Now, I won't show any of it here, but the collection does have some cool little extras, some interviews with the voice actor Dana Gould, some other like ads and artwork and trailers and stuff, some cut footage from the Gex Junior beta. You get to see some of that. Kind of sad that wasn't playable, but it is cool. And then also, because these are the PS1 versions of these games, there is some content in Gex 2 and 3 on N64 that were exclusive. Mainly, Gex 2 had a Titanic stage on N64, and Gex 3 had some extra bonus stages on the N64 version. They didn't include those either, but they did include videos to show you what those looked like, so that was nice. And also, something that they're adding, I don't know if it's in by time this video releases, but they are adding the UK voice acting as an option. So if you want to hear the UK version of Gex, which has different voice actors per game, you can do that. Gex Trilogy is fantastic. I have been having a blast playing this. It's kind of sad that in the year 2025, this is the best thing that I've played this year. It's so fun, it's so good. It's been fun revisiting an era of gaming that I truly miss. And if you are like me and this was your favorite time to play video games was in the late 90s, early 2000s, Gex Trilogy is a very fun game, a very fun package, and especially if you've never played these before. The references are outdated, but sometimes I think that makes them funnier. Gex Trilogy, Game of the Year 2025.
Get your baby. This is for Mr. Sinatra. And forget about it. Gotta love it.
Nada.